right. So let's go through how to measure clothes for eBay or wherever else you are working on the internet reselling new or used clothes. So let's see if we get a few people up here. And all right, so one of the biggest problems with reselling clothes, since the person can't be there in person to try it on or look at it or hold it against them, or maybe they're buying for somebody that's in the hospital and they just, can't be there to try on clothes or whatever. Um, it's really, really important to get some measurements, especially after new clothes are washed. If they have any amount of cotton in them, they tend to shrink. The more cotton, the more shrinkage you're going to get. If it's 100% cotton, that turkey will go down about 3/4 of its original size. And yes, in the old days, when jeans were a big thing, and we used to get jeans and get them skin tight, and then you wash them, and then all kinds of length would shrink off of them, and they would get even tighter. And yes, I was one of those that laid down on the bed with a pair of pliers and pulled the zipper up and buttoned them, and then had to try to get up. And then after you walk around a little bit, they stretch back out. Okay. Yes, I was one of those. What a pain that was. But anyway, it's real important, especially with men's clothes, um, because they have different crotch lengths. And it's really, really important because, say, the guy has a big package. Well, he has to have a pair of pants that fit him. So the inseam length is going to be a lot shorter than other people. And if clothes have been altered, say they took the hem up 2 or 3 inches or something from what the original was, um, the whole thing's going to change. So you really need that inseam measurement and the outseam, and then the waist, and hopefully the bell, how big the bell is, if it's um, peg leg, or if it's a big bell bottom. That spikes a lot of interest with a lot of people. Some people wear their pants inside their boots, so they like that real tight peg leg. And then other people like the bell bottom effect, which the bell bottom effect is a really good design actually, for men and women. And bell bottoms are back in again, and I've always kept all my bell bottoms. People always laughed at me because I have bell bottom suits and all kinds of stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're wearing bell bottoms or you're wearing high tops." Well, all that's in, okay. And let me tell you how good bell bottoms are. Bell bottoms are the ideal pants. Those and the old dittos. Dittos were really good pants. Um, bell bottoms are good for big girls. Now, we used to wear them with platform shoes and real fun tops and stuff. But bell bottoms make a big girl look thin because the bells make the waist look smaller and makes you have a cuter butt and all that kind of stuff. They really, really complement a larger size girl. So I've always been a big fan of bell bottoms, not because I'm a larger size girl, because I'm not, um, because it suits all types, whether you're really super skinny or you're a little on the portly side. They're very complimentary. And the hardest people to dress are the larger size people, portly, the big girls, because people don't want to make cool clothes to fit them. And I've made clothes for years and years and years, and I have a degree in all this and everything in fashion design and merchandising at UCLA. Da 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 da. I could go on and on and on. But um, It's I always have made clothes for super tall people, for heavier people, and made out like bacon instead of bringing little tiny clothes in everywhere I've gone when I travel to dress people. So I make my clothes, I design them, I make them, and I fit them in person and deliver in person all across the United States for years and years. And so, you know, it really puts a smile on a big girl's face if you just so happen to have one or four or five outfits that will fit a larger size girl. And they will pay out the nose for it because they can't get cute clothes. So they will always remember you, and they will always have $100 bill for you every time you show up with something for them. So I've always made money on that and made good friends over that too. Because I've just never, catered to all the, 8-year-old size showgirls and stuff, and that was it. A lot of people say, well, if you're heavier than that, then you don't need to be dancing. Well, that's not true, especially now in the 2000s, and since about 3 or 4 years ago, in the stripper category, gentlemen's clubs, they are preferring the larger size girls. The gentlemen are preferring the larger size girls. They are the ones that are making money right now. And it's not the streamlined Barbie doll, 6 foot tall, Russian looking chick with the blonde hair and a boob job. It's not all that anymore. It's really, really catering to the heavy girls. And it doesn't make a difference how old you are. If you're, 21 years old or you're 80 years old, there are older showgirls. I know somebody right now that used to own a strip club in Fort Walton that's dancing nude out at the base, and she has got to be about 80 this year. Yeah, yeah, amazing, and she makes bank. She makes more than anybody you will ever know. But measurement is key. When I worked in Beverly Hills on Rodale Drive, I worked for Britannia, and that was a jean company, and they did a lot of European jeans and stuff. And it was right on the corner. I don't think it's there anymore. But all the jeans in there were $100 and up. Matter of fact, I had a pair for years. They were $250 jeans, and I got like half off or something being an employee. And I said, man, the day to have $250 pair of jeans. And they were the worst fitting jeans I've ever owned in my life. And they come in these real funny sizes. It'd be like 36, 38, 39, 40. 40 is generally like a size 10, 39 is like a size 9. The European sizes are so much different than the USA sizes. And then you've got the Oriental sizing, you've got all kinds of different sizings around the world. So you got to really know your clothes and you really pay attention to these tags. But bottom line, measurement is key. What it doesn't make a difference what that tag says, measurement is key, especially if it's been washed one time. If it's been washed one time, thrown in the dryer, it's going to change depending on the fabric content. And it really helps your sales, if you're an online reseller, to throw a few measurements in. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And it will save you so much trouble because you'll get people that will send you a message that says, I need the measurements, or what's the armpit to armpit dimension, or what's the sleeve length. And you go, oh my gosh. But they're asking for a reason because they're going to buy the product and they don't want to have to return it. And normally, I would, if I've bought shirts or whatever, unless I buy a bulk load or something, and usually I'll buy, a couple tester samples first before I'll order bulk lot from somebody. Sometimes it's a real cool deal and I'll take that risk. And if they come oddball, then I have to put up with it. But, um, uh, you know, it's really depressing when you order this really great shirt that you can no longer get because it's no longer made. And it looks like it's in pretty good shape, on the pictures. And then when you get it, it's like child size. And that's because nobody did dimensions, for years ago. I mean, I'm talking even 20 years ago. On eBay, I don't think I've ever seen an ad back then where somebody, measured the garment, or they, only shoes, or they, had, yardsticks or tapes on it to show you the dimensions. You just ordered it by the size. And, also cuts are different. Different companies will cut their sizes different. Even if it's all USA sizes, they'll get a different cut. Just like I'm telling you about those Britannia jeans, they're almost $300, and they were so horrible. The butt was too short, okay, in the back, and the crotch was too long. And if the crotch is too long, you can't do anything with it. There's no way to take it up. You have to add fabric to it to get that. So the only time that you can take it up is to make it longer if it's crawling up your coochie or your stuff. So it's really important to give the size. It will really help your sale. I mean, what you want is not a bunch of watchers. You want a bunch of buyers. So, when they save it and all that other stuff, they're not buying it. And I'm going to tell you, 90% of those people that save that stuff, and you'll see it on there if you're a seller, they don't buy it. It'll be sold before they even buy it. You might have 20 watchers. It could be other sellers watching it too. But the whole idea is to get them to click on the ad, and you have everything in there. They don't have to ask a question, and they're pretty sure that's what they want, and they order it, and they're going to get exactly what's in the picture, and the pictures aren't all doctored up, and the measurements are in there, and they're still hoping that when they get it, it might fit. Okay, so it's really important to put the dimensions in, and yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but if you do it when you're taking your pictures right then, take pictures of your measurements or document the measurements in the ad, or do both, and then write your ad right there, and then you pack the item up and put it away, so that way you can locate it. And don't wait to have to go back and look for that one shirt out of like 200 shirts to find it and get that measurement, because you're at dinner and somebody wants to buy the shirt for $25, and you're going, ugh. So now you've got to go back to your shop and go find that damn shirt and pull it out and do the dimensions and send them the thing going, man, I hope they'll buy it. And then they don't buy it for 2 days because they're already gone from the internet. They're busy. So it's easier if you have the dimensions in there at the time, in the moment. It really helps, especially with used clothing, even with new clothing. That's why, like, your content, your fabric content is super, super important. One, for allergic reasons. I'm allergic to wool, terrible. It is, it itches me so bad. The only one I don't really have trouble with is Angora, which is wool. Um, but any other kind of wool, I can't stand it. I have to wear a shirt under it or something. And I will sneeze. Isn't that weird? I will sneeze if I'm around somebody like wearing wool socks or something. Isn't that weird? But yeah, so fabric content's really important. I like fabric content for one reason, because if some things have rayon in them, rayon was used during the war as an imposter of silk. Okay, I'm not talking about silk or satin weave. I'm talking about the fabric silk, silk from the silkworm. Okay, I love silk, but rayon is the imposter. It's like a polyester of silks. And rayon is super neat. It wrinkles really easy, but it has a great light flowy effect, like silk. Um, and it's cheaper to make than silk. And that was real popular, has been for many, many years. I love a rayon dress. Absolutely love it. If you want that Marilyn Monroe thing where you're spinning around and it floats down, rayon is fantastic. Fantastic fabric. Absolutely love it. But rayon is ticky. You can't put it in the dryer. You can press it, with a light iron or whatever. But they use rayon a lot of times in a mix. Like it might be so much cotton, and then it might be so much rayon. To be so much in the content that's on your labels of your garments. But any amount of cotton in there, if it's 50% or higher, it's gonna have shrinkage. And if it's 100%, it really goes wacky. It can be really bad. 100%. Like if you ordered a brand new T-shirt online, it's 100% cotton and it's not been washed. You better order it really big because it's just gonna shrink into a bunch of nothing. You know, um, it's like taking an Angora sweater and washing it and putting it in the dryer, and it comes up, you know, the size of a 2-year-old child. Cotton is rough. But anyway, so it's super important to get those dimensions, so that people will want to buy your item and will click so much easier and buy it right then if they think it's going to fit. And it's not real hard for anybody to measure their own clothes flat. Okay, that's the way it's done, flat. I hate it, but yeah. I've tailored clothes and stuff like that, and I just am not one for flat measurements. But anyway, the average Joe can do it. A girl, a guy, a kid, they can measure stuff flat. If you've got, if you sew, you use a tape. You know, if you're a school teacher, or a kid, use a ruler. That's a yardstick there. They used to give away those yardsticks years ago when they were wood. When you go to the fabric store, you know. Or a dude that works has a measuring tape. I don't like measuring tape so much because it can snag fabrics. Um, but it's quick and it's clean. Um, you want to use, if you're doing measuring for eBay, you would need a smooth yardstick and ruler, not wood, because it'll tend to snag fabrics if you drag it across it or whatever, and you don't want to do that. So this one I think came from Lowe's. This yardstick. A yardstick is 36 inches. That's 3 foot. That's standard measurement for sewing. And then these are engineer rulers. It's a metal with a cork back. They're very, very, very expensive. I used to have every size, but they were stolen in storages. And I knew, of course, this goes for miles. But it's really handy, if you're going to do your pictures for your ads. So let's go over this and see if I can help you so that you can figure this one out, because it's not as hard as you think. In measuring garments for the internet for reselling is just done differently. So you want to take it, and if you can take your picture with it, like I said earlier, and put it with your pictures in your ad, is great. So here we got a shirt here. Gecko Da Vinci. Okay, this is just regular short sleeve shirt. Now this one, this is Costa Rica, and it could have been made in Costa Rica. So, like this is 100% cotton, and it says pre-shrunk too, but still. And so what you want to do is you're going to take your shirt laid out flat. This is actually a little bit shorter than what we need. We need like a big table or a door or something like that, or the floor. And really you don't want it hung up. You really want to have it laying flat. On the counter, the carpet, on your couch, or whatever you got to do. And you don't want to stretch the fabric, okay? So, like, that will almost fit on there. And you don't want to stretch, you just want to make sure it's even. You're going to go see where these seams meet right here for the sleeve. That's your armpit to armpit dimension, okay? So this is a little bit short. We got measuring tape. Don't stretch it, just make sure it's flat. So that armpit to armpit is 19, because that's where it ends over here. And always write approximately. Dimensions are approximate. If you use this, you go armpit to armpit, boom, boom. Use measuring tape. Armpit to armpit, boom, boom. If you use a tripod, you can shoot the picture like that. Okay. Now the next one is the back of the shirt. Okay. This is the collar. This is the body of the shirt. Okay. You don't measure here. Bottom of the collar. Collar. Okay. Just like this. See this shirt? Button up front. Collar. You don't measure here. Okay? You don't measure here. You measure bottom of the collar down the back. Okay? Now. So don't make that mistake, because you'll screw everything up. Okay, so we got the shirt. Now, measuring tape. Don't stretch the fabric. Bottom of the collar. You see where I'm at here? Right there. Boom. To the bottom of the shirt. Okay, it's about 24.5 inches. Okay? This one's too short. This yardstick will do. Bottom of the collar. 24.5 inches. Measuring tape. Bottom of the collar. 24.5 inches. Okay? Now, so you got your armpit to armpit. Bottom of the collar to the hem. Bottom of the hem. The bottom. The bottom. Not the stitching. The bottom. Okay? There's your dimensions. That's all you need. Now, there's a guy that's got a really cool ruler thing that he has patented. And like, I mean, you can do this too. You could get 2 yardsticks if you wanted. And then you could just do one picture. And put one here and shoot one picture. Boom. And that would be really handy. But there's a guy that's actually made a unit where the stuff is already put on there. And it's got a joint. And it just spins around. And then you just stick it on the garment and it instantly measures. Kind of thing. And Tech and Sports, he's in Lower Florida. And he sells them for like $25. And it's called Reseller Ruler. And you can get it at resellerruler.com. So, and then I think it's free shipping too. So here's another shirt. Guy's a real big time seller on eBay, actually. Him and his wife. Okay, so we got now the reason armpit to armpit's really important is because some guys are kind of fat. So if they want the shirt, they got to make sure it's kind of wide. Starting here. See, we got 22 inch here. That way, if they know it's pretty much the same as the shirt they own, then the bottom will probably be the same, because men's clothes don't flare as much as women's do as they go down. Women's tend to flare out a little bit, kind of like a dress. Although there's a maker right now that is making men's shirts that flare a little bit, so it makes them look like they're really in really good shape. There's really tight sleeves and all that. And then you go bottom of the collar. Okay, see bottom of the collar. Not here. Not inside. But bottom of the collar. This joint right here. Right there is where you start. Okay, bottom of the collar to the bottom of the shirt. Okay, so we are looking at 20.5 inches. See? Da-da-da-da. And that's with whatever tool you got. Now, here's the tricky one. Pants. Men's or women's, it doesn't make a difference. And you have to remember, some guys like to wear women's pants. Or they like a pair of pants, and it's actually women's. In the old days, it was like, well, if it buttoned on the right side, it was women's. If it buttoned on the left, it was men's or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. There's lots of girls I've known for years that wore men's Levi's and stuff. They liked them better. Um, so it's real important to measure this stuff. And it's so easy when it's a lie flat. I hate lie flat measuring for making clothes because it's sorry. I like to do the measurements and everything on mannequin. But anyway, but it's the best way to do it if you saw online. Even if the garment says, okay, it's a 26-inch waist, well, it's probably shrunk. So right here, it's laying flat 18.5. 18.5 times 2 is your waist. Okay? So you want your waist dimension. And always list how many pockets. This is even a pocket. This is 2 pockets right here. 2. People love pockets. Okay, now your inseam. The inseam is from the coochie to the hem. That's inseam, inside seam. Okay, so you're going to measure right here at this intersection. See the intersection? That's where you're going to measure, like right there. I'm using some short pants so you can see it easier, okay? All right, so here's what we got. Inseam. These are like some capri things. Okay, so we got right at the coochie, and we are at 22.5. Okay? And try to do it lying flat. If you do it hanging up, it's going to come out crappy. And that way you can take your picture too. Okay, outseam. The outseam is the outside. Inside is a crotch seam, inseam. Outseam is outside. Okay? And you're going to measure your outseam for resale clothes. You want to just do it at the top of the belt. I mean, I would do it here, but for resale, you're going to do it like that. Because most people that order online don't know how to sew. So they don't get it. So it's easier for them if you just do the whole total overall picture. So here we go. We're going to start at the top of the pants. On this side. 32.5. It's that easy. That's how you measure clothes. Inseam, outseam, waist. Okay? Shirts is the back. Bottom of the collar. To the hem. To the edge of the fabric. And then armpit to armpit, where the sleeves join into the body of the shirt. Okay? So it's real simple. And you should have one of these tools. And you can even do it with a piece of string. And then go measure it onto something. If you have to. You know, take a piece of string, pull it and measure it, whatever. And but that's how you do it. You can get the shortest measuring tape at the store for probably about $2 or $3 at Walmart or Harbor Freight. You don't need anything very long. And you can get a measuring tape at Walmart for a couple bucks, or at the sewing store for about $5. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot, get a nice metal ruler that you can wipe with a sponge and everything, keep it clean. That's going to be, around $5 for that. You can get these in all different sizes. These nice engineering rulers and get them at a craft store. They're metal with a cork back, and they're gonna be expensive. So they're my favorite kind of ruler though. Woo-woo. But and try not to get wood because it snags your fabrics. If you drag it across it, you're gonna ruin it. So there you have it. It's very simple and not hard to do, but really important for your ads and listing clothes on eBay. It will help your sales so much, and you won't have a bunch of dorky questions. You'll just have buyers, and that's the bottom line. That Jewish piano does not lie. Okay. I hope you guys have a great one. Love to you. Thanks for hanging out. I hope I helped you. Happy sales. May the money tree crash on your stage. I love you.